Apologies up front. Today's podcast is a little bit longer than the norm, but I do ask that you see it through to its conclusion. Now, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do so. And as always, we love hearing your feedback. The conflict between Israel and Gaza are a world away from New Zealand, and yet here we are. Everywhere there's a crowd, there they are with their Palestinian flags protesting against the Israeli occupation of Gaza. On our televisions we see the university protest in the United States becoming quite agitated over the issue, and yet the US is one of the few countries in the world who will stand fully supportive of the nation of Israel. At the time of us recording this video, Hamas and Israel are being cajoled by the United States into a ceasefire. It may or may not have happened. But if you look at the outbreak in hostility, there's a historical reason behind why there is so much deep-seated hate between these two countries. To me, this conflict is simplistic. Hamas terrorists entered Israel, murdered 1,400 people and took hundreds hostage. Israel demanded their return. Hamas refused, so Israel forces entered Gaza. The rhetoric between Israel and Hamas always centres on the return of the hostages. So to me it's simple. Return the hostages, but they won't, because they, Hamas, would rather have Gaza levelled as it's politically convenient to their victim narrative. And on that note, our young people have to understand where a decision to do something is made, you need to look at what the result will be. In this case, the actions of Hamas provoking the bear Israel, well, they would have been well aware of what the consequences would be. Consequences in this case was retaliation. Surely most 6-year-olds get it, but I can't for the life of me understand why young people in their late teens and early adulthood don't understand. For every action taken, there is a consequence. Now, I said it was a simplistic solution, and I'm not naive enough to note that there is a greater issue. But why is it that people protest and support a regime which crossed the border of another nation, justifying the murder of 1,400 innocent Israelis? And they feel justified in roasting babies in ovens, in decapitating them, in burning whole families alive, in raping old and young women until their pelvises were broken before shooting them in the head, and justifying and kidnapping Holocaust survivors. Today, as a mature adult, I question both the rights and the wrongs of the attack and the response. But that is because I have, over my years, gained a knowledge of the key issues, and while I feel for the Palestinians, I cannot support or condone the actions of Hamas. And yes, I get it. Hamas does not represent all Palestinians, no more than Christopher Luxon represents the viewpoints of every New Zealander. But the fact is, it's ruled Gaza, it must indicate it has the support of the majority of its people. Now, my reasons for bringing up the conflict is I'm concerned, as I've always been, in the way the left-leaning media and the educators in this country continues to fail in its biggest moral test, continues to show its blindness towards Hamas, which in turn is manipulating our young children. As parents, we fail to realise what propaganda our kids are hearing and believing. It's hard to think that a politician like the Greens co-leader, Chloe Swarbrick, having an influence on our young people, but along with her colleagues in the Green Party, they do. And that makes them dangerous to our youngsters. Now, Swarbrick admitted that at the time of this outburst, she was unaware of the real meaning of her statement.
Worldwide, the Green Party of Aotearoa New Zealand stands for Free Palestine. Say it with me. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
So I know this ain't complicated. We've got enough expert evidence. This is genocide. This is ethnic cleansing. This is apartheid. And in historical stances, Aotearoa New Zealand has been proud to stand against that, and we will hold this damn government to account until we get there.
Well, Swarbrick may have claimed that she was unaware, but we have a saying in this country, given the firestorm which erupted following this outburst, Swarbrick was claiming she was unaware. All you can say is, yeah, right. I mentioned the protests at the American universities, just like my generation did when we jumped on board the latest protest bandwagon. In my day, it was the Vietnam War, nuclear-free New Zealand, apartheid in South Africa. But today it's worse, because every week there's a new injustice that needs to be aired. So I get the freedom of speech thing and the rights to protest, to stand up for something we believe in. But we need to understand and firmly believe in what it is that we're risking our freedom and maybe our lives for if the protest that we're involved in turns feral. The day I saw a New Zealand news item of a free Palestinian protest where the LGBTQ plus brigade was supporting Hamas, I knew people just didn't get what it was all about. They see the people of Gaza being oppressed and want to stand in solidarity with Palestinians. Believe me when I say the LGBTQ plus community would be wise and not go there. In fact, I think I would even go as far as to suggest their ignorance on how a Muslim country reacts to homosexuality could come as a bit of a revelation. A recent article in the Jerusalem Post explained that around 6 individuals, some associated with Hamas and collectively boasting more than 100 million social media followers, have been waging a propaganda campaign against Israel on various social media platforms since the start of the Swords of Iron War on October the 7th. Now that's a huge number of social media followers. Perhaps one of your kids are following them as well, thinking they're getting solid information when in reality they're getting Hamas propaganda, which even includes such things as TikTok dances to help Hamas fight Israel, making it all seem fun and cool to help Hamas. Now, I'm about to show you the most cringe-worthy video which is doing the rounds at the moment. Now, I warn you, this is top of the cringe scale.
Live on YouTube with Columbia Anti-Semitic News, where everyone is welcome. LGBTQH.
H?
Hamas.
Yeah, I totally simp Hamas.
Yeah.
It's so trending right now.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Do you know why it's true? Because it rhymes.
Oh.
Just look at all this toxic Zionist propaganda. Kidnapped in Gaza. Does this look like Gaza to you?
Yeah, bro, I have no idea what Gaza looks like.
And they're smiling. Do hostages smile? Zionist liars.
Totally sus.
Do they think we're stupid?
Stupid? I major in queer post-colonial astrology. Ew. Jews make the world dirty.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm racist fluid.
Exactly. And now for a little break from all this activism, we want to say hello to our BFF,
Bestie freedom fighter,
Abu Fatwa in Gaza. Salam alaikum.
Alaykum as-salam, and inshallah, Allah will kill you all infidels.
thank you so much for joining us. Love the headpiece, the all oppression chic. Very drip.
Mr. Fatwa, how are you? Are you safe?
Oh yes, I'm safe. I'm in a tunnel under the Gaza hospital. Above me, I have Allah and 2 million civilians protecting me.
Community is so important these days.
Do you need like humanitarian aid, food, fuel, medicine?
It's okay, I have everything. I'm only hungry for rockets.
As long as it's organic.
Yeah.
I wish I just could be there with you.
You can come to Gaza anytime and we will throw you from the roof, you homosexual dirt.
Do you hear? Bro, want to throw me a rooftop party?
They are so welcoming and inclusive.
So shukran. And you are also very welcome to come here to America.
We will come. First we finish with Israel and America is next.
Great! So I guess we'll see you soon.
Yes, it would be a blast.
Can't wait. It will be so multicultural.
Ya Allah, you are so stupid.
Thank you so much, Abu. We love you.
I won't even bother killing you. It's a waste of bullets.
Good vibes only.
It's better you just kill yourself.
Okay, bye.
Die.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be Jews-free. Yeah, that sounds better.
It is better.
Yep, I agree. It's over the top, but it's just a sample of what's available to our young people. Now let me finish and bring sanity back into this discussion. We must be aware, and I'm urging parents to have the conversation around the conflict. Find out where they stand and why. You might be surprised. One parent I spoke to had his 15-year-old daughter refuse his invitation to have lunch at McDonald's because they're pro-Israel. Hey, look, I understand young people will take sides and make a stand for what they believe is right. But in this instance, the father wanted to know if his daughter was aware of all the facts, and he asked her to explain back to him why she supported Hamas. Her father said afterwards he didn't debate the issue, but just wanted to know if she was aware of what actions had been taken by Hamas and why Israel had acted in the way it was. She wasn't. I didn't inquire if they ended up going to McDonald's, but I was never aware that McDonald's as an organisation had taken a stand. You learn something new every day. Now let me finish. In every war there's two sides. Before we can take a stand, we must make ourselves aware of the facts. We cannot rely on our left-leaning media to bring truthful, unbiased reports into our homes. Therefore it means we must look into history and understand the issues at hand. In order to understand the history of the nation of Israel, there are many books published, but it's only in God's Word, the Bible, which can give you the true nature of the nation and the claims it has. Honestly, I do feel saddened about what is happening to the innocents who are suffering the loss of family and home in Gaza, just as I'm saddened by the violence and provocation towards the nation of Israel. As with everything in this world, opinions are divided, and there's an underlying influence which prevails when there is division. And when you really look close at what is driving protest, it's money. And there's huge money behind the Palestinian protests around the world. The question is, who's behind the money? In the case of the Troubles in the US, we know there are people paid to be agitators who can escalate an intended peaceful protest into a riot. I, for one, would not like to see any offspring of mine caught up in a violent confrontation, because the liars of this world had deceived them. So I really do urge you to have the conversation with your young ones for no other reason, and that is to ensure that they understand that being a part of something will have a huge influence on their lives and their view of the world. You know, it's every parent's job to guard the hearts and the minds of our young.